This presentation that I want to share with you can change your life, and I truly do mean that. You can be on the right track once and for all when it comes to reaching your health and fitness goals. Here's exactly what I mean. So, if let's just say that you wanted to get a workout in with me at one of the gyms here in Cleveland, Ohio, and maybe you lived, I don't know, in a different state, so you're traveling from out of state over here to this location. Well, how are you actually going to get to that gym? Odds are you would be putting in that location into your GPS and showing up there at the time, that we're supposed to get a workout in. Pretty standard, pretty simple. Well, the reality is like a lot of guys, they don't know how to actually program in the GPS, aka their subconscious mind, that exact location of where they're trying to get to in terms of their health and fitness goals. Instead, they're just driving from, let's say, Florida all the way up to Ohio. It's like, yeah, you're going to get there, sure, but getting to the exact location of where you really want to get to, get, that workout in so we can, get a crazy pump in, go smash some donuts afterwards. Guess what? Odds are you're probably not, because Ohio is pretty big. So just by saying, oh, I want to lose weight, hey, I want to have more confidence, think about it. Like these big goals that we have, they're too broad. They're too much on the macro. We got to focus more on the micro, more on the specifics, more on that exact location that we're trying to get to. So what I recommend for you is if you're watching this, hey, take down some notes. A lot of fitness coaches, they talk a lot about, hey, do these workouts, follow this diet, you'll get in great shape. But they neglect the mindsets. And in my opinion, working on your mindset, that's the greatest tool on your body. That's the most powerful muscle you will ever have is your mindset. And I'm a firm believer in that. A lot of, top athletes like, Conor McGregor, Michael Jordan, Michael Phelps, all these guys, they all talk about the mindset, the power of your mind. And today's exercise is going to help you out tremendously. I'm a firm believer in that. Like I stated earlier, hey, if you follow through with this, you're going to change your life. And within 6 to 12 months, you might be able to reach your health and fitness goals that, hey, you haven't been able to in years, let's say, just by following through this one simple exercise that we're going to talk about at the very end. And the best part is, this simple exercise can be only about 5 to 10 minutes out of your day. That's it. It's not a big time invested into doing this, but it's kind of like drinking more water. It's like, hey, it's good for you. It's going to help you out with your overall health. You just don't feel that. So think about it in terms of that. It's not like, hey, we're going for sprints or, we're doing, taking a pre-workout where we instantly have a stimulus effect. No, you're not going to feel this. But just like how drinking water, you don't feel being healthier by consuming it, So what you need to have is peace of mind and understand that, hey, I got to make sure I do this every single day. I got to make sure I'm sticking with this, even though I'm not, quote unquote, feeling a change. A change is happening, sure enough, and it will happen in your life as long as you stick with it. So with that being said, let's dive in. Now, before we start diving into this exercise, I want to share with you a few quotes. This first one is with Jim Rohn, who says, set goals not for the outcome itself, but for who you get to become in the process. So key word in this is become, okay? It's not the goals, it's not the outcome, but it's who you get to become. Tony Robbins said, it's not about the goal. It's about growing to become the person that can accomplish the goal. What's the key word in this? Become, right? You're growing to become the person that can accomplish the goal. And Les Brown, who's one of my favorite motivational speakers, said, in the end, it is the person you become, not the things you have achieved. That is the most important. So it's like, think about it. What is the key word? It is the person you become. That's why today I want to help you guys become the hero that honestly you deserve to become. If you have a pen and paper, I highly recommend start jotting down some notes and really go through this exercise because like I said, in the next 6 to 12 months, your life can change dramatically just by doing this. So what I want you to write down is, what are your internal habits and beliefs of the person that you want to become? And this is something that it's kind of hard for guys to imagine. Hey, I want to lose weight. Hey, I want to get off my medications. Hey, I want to have more confidence. I want to have more energy. They don't actually know, remember, the specifics on how that might actually look. That GPS location. right? Not broad, right? Not the macro, but instead the micro. So I have 5 questions that I'm going to share with you next in terms of how to help you out when it comes to become this version of yourself. The one that actually has success at reaching their goals. The one that you can start to reverse engineer and just say, okay, hey, this is who I want to become. This is the crystal clear GPS location. Now, what can we do today to get one step closer to that version? So the first question is, what does this person even look like? You know, if let's just say you want to have 6-pack abs, well, that's great. But at the end of the day, like, do you have 6-pack abs and a flabby chest? Do you have 6-pack abs and, you know, maybe, I don't know, flabby arms also? Maybe like a double chin? It's like, no, like, why don't we take our time to actually put in the GPS, the exact location? And so in doing so is, hey, what does this person actually look like? What are their facial features? Abs, chest, arms, back, shoulder. How are they dressing? What does this person look like? You know, maybe it's like this identity shift, or maybe like an alter ego that you might have where, you know, maybe it's your old favorite clothes because now you can actually fit into them. Maybe it's actually you got to buy brand new clothes, or who knows? Maybe you're the type of person where it's like you're always wearing long sleeve shirts or like baggy clothes to where, you know, now, hey, I lost a bunch of weight. I got 6-pack abs, chiseled chest. Now I'm the guy walking around with tank tops. Now I'm the guy that barely has a shirt on in summertime, you know? But it's like, don't just focus on one little detail, 6-pack abs, right? Which most guys do. Focus on everything. Don't focus on one little slice of the pie. Focus on the whole pie. Hey, how does this person look? Not just their abs, but also their face, their chest, their back, their arms, shoulders, legs. You know, how do they dress? Get very creative with this, because the more detail that you can put in, I mean, think about it. It's like targeting. If let's say you're trying to get this one specific location, right? And not just use a city or a county, right? But an actual like coffee shop in this location, you're going to get there. It's in your GPS. So don't just put in like 1 or 2 and just get to like the state or the county or the city. Actually put in there all the details to help you get to the exact location of where you're trying to get to. So for your health and fitness goals, how does this person that you're trying to become, what do they actually look like? Second question is, how does this person feel? You know, I hear from guys all the time, hey, they want to have more confidence. Well, that's great, but is that like more confidence just like taking your shirt off in the mirror and seeing yourself and maybe you're feeling proud of yourself? Or is this maybe more confidence, you know, taking your shirt off in public, like maybe on a hot summer day at the beach with your kids? Or is this like more confidence of, hey, I want to be able to step up more at work and be able to voice my opinion and be more of a leader to eventually lead to a promotion? You know, so it's like, once again, you got to focus. What here about the confidence that you want to attract and you want to be when it comes to reaching your goals? But don't just have one thing, have in there multiple different things. Like, you know, are you also strong? And like, what does that actually mean to you? Is that like strength of like doing push-ups with maybe your kids or your grandkids on your back? Is that like you're being able to bench your body weight or squat a certain amount? You know, what about the energy? You know, is this like energy to play with your kids? Is this energy to stay awake at 2 p.m., you know, at work and you feel like you're about to fall asleep at your desk? Is this maybe more sex drive, right? Like how energized are you feeling? Are you more courageous? Like maybe you feel like you want to be more, you know, spontaneous and step up to the plate more ambitious. Maybe are you more compassionate? Because as you're realizing here, like you went through this amazing transformation of reaching your health and fitness goals, and you want to maybe be an inspiration to help out others as well. So maybe you're there to just lend a helpful hand and help out others. Maybe you're more disciplined, authentic, creative. So once again, when it comes to writing this down, and this is going to be, you know, different for everybody. This is going to be you. Whatever it is that you want to achieve and who you want to become, just focus. How does this person feel? Okay. And just write down as much information as possible. Third question is, what does their daily routine look like? You know, are they organized? Are they following a routine? What time do they wake up? What time do they go to sleep? How are they also spending their free time? And, you know, are they staying on the track with their goals? These are things that you really got to think about, because let's say if your goal is, let's just say, lose 20 pounds, get 6-pack abs, more confidence, off your blood pressure medications, right? Like those are the goals. But if let's just say like this person over here that already had success at reaching those goals maybe they're tracking their macros. Maybe they're, doing at least 3 workouts per week. Maybe they're getting plenty of steps in, drinking plenty of water. They're prioritizing their sleep, everything like that. So it's like, okay, cool. This person over here is doing this. What am I not doing today? Because if I can just start doing today what this person's already doing, it's reverse engineering. It's getting to the location. It's getting to the goals. And I promise you this, if you try to get very specific and write this stuff down as much detail as possible, hey, what is this person doing? How does their daily routine look like? And we can just start acting as that person today. You are going to get on the fast track for success at reaching your goals. I promise you that. The fourth question is, how do they handle challenges or adversity? And in my opinion, this is something that's probably going to take some time for you to kind of jot down and map everything out. And that's okay. Because you really have to identify and try to be as honest as possible. Think about it. I'll use myself, for example, and I'll just be completely honest with you. I'm a very emotional person at times. So it's like, hey, if things don't go my way, I'm immediately like, oh man, what else is going to happen next? Or I start getting angry or upset. And maybe it's the future of myself that I'm trying to reach, the goals, the 2.0 version of myself. Maybe they're taking just a chill pill where, it's not big leaps and bounds. They're immediately optimistic about, the future and the challenges that hold. No, maybe this person is just, they're not responding. They're not reacting out of emotions. Maybe they're taking just a step back and observing the situation. And maybe they just have a better time of doing that than how I do it currently right now. So I want to make sure that I'm writing all this down in perfect detail. So it's if there's an injury that you occur or an illness or stress or any kind of roadblock, right? Maybe something happens at work to you or with your family and it takes you off course, of what you think it's on the right path of, reaching your goals. But at the end of the day, it's hey, that's just a roadmap. That's just something to abide by. That's going to help you there. There's always going to be roadblocks. That's going to put you on these little detours. It's unseen variables. They happen to everybody. It's just you can't predict anything, right? And you don't ever want to wish upon them either. Hey, I don't wish to have an injury. Or I don't wish to get sick. But these things just happen. It's life, right? So it's just understanding that, hey, these things are going to happen. But what is our mindset when these roadblocks kind of occur? Are we looking at it as a challenge, adversity? We're looking at it as the glass, half empty rather than half full. Are we looking at it as cry me a river? It's no, or are we looking at it as an opportunity? And I'm not saying it's going to be a night and day difference, right? Because maybe this 2.0 version of yourself that you're trying to, achieve and become, maybe they just, like I said, handle things better in a more timely fashion, or they have a mental clutch that kind of helps them kind of reset things to where their emotions don't take over, where they can start looking at these challenges and adversity as an opportunity. So if let's say you do get sick or injured, anything like that, let's say you hurt your knee, well, it's okay, hey, I can't go to the gym. Or maybe if I do, I just focus on upper body. But hey, in the midst of this knee injury, maybe I can focus more on, dialing in with my nutrition. Maybe I can focus more on the mindset now. So it's you're looking for these opportunities as almost as minor setbacks, that's only going to catapult you forward to a greater comeback. That's going to help you have more success at reaching your health and fitness goals faster, because we're looking at them as opportunities rather than just stuff that's going to take us, off our path and, off course. It's no, we're looking at it as just hey, a little bump in the road, but it's only for growth. It's only to make us stronger in the end. It's only to help us learn something or overcome something and grow something in the midst of that challenge. But that's only going to happen if you have the right perspective and looking at it that way. And the last question is, how are they helping out others? So it's I say this all the time with our members at Heartletics. Our job is not to change you and help you just have these goals and that's it. No, our job is to help you and change you so that way you can also inspire others to do the same. Scary stats out there. Over 50% of the U.S. population is considered overweight or obese. I think it's 45% of guys over the age of 50 struggle with, medications like high blood pressure, high cholesterol, type 2 diabetes. And I know that, hey, I can't change everybody in the world, nor is that my job. but it is my job to invest my time, my energy, my resources to help out those that invest into our coaching program. So that way I can just help them reach their health and fitness goals, give them the roadmap for success as long as they're sticking with it, and most importantly, help them just unlock a few things about themselves that they can then share with their friends, their family members, their coworkers, their communities, their neighbors, their churches, whatever the case may be, to be that source of inspiration for them as well. So if let's say, hey, you're able to lose 50 pounds, get off your medication, and now you're the guy that, has their shirt off at the beach, right? And you're always walking around in a tank top and you look amazing, right? That's going to inspire somebody else, especially if, let's say, you're in your 40s, your 50s, your 60s, maybe even your 70s. Somebody else that maybe is in your age, range, they're going to be looking at you as a source of inspiration. They're going to be asking you, hey, how'd you do it? I'm looking up to you. Like, if you can do it, I can do it too. And it's almost like you're becoming that, I like to say, that Roger Bannister type story. In case you don't know who Roger Bannister is, he is the first person ever to complete a mile, within 4 minutes, which is insane. Because honestly, before he was able to complete that, doctors thought that the human heart would actually explode, that it was literally impossible. But here's the thing, when he was able to complete that mile and run it within 4 minutes, he was able to break the self-limiting beliefs in others, to where now there's been hundreds of people that was able to accomplish running a mile within 4 minutes. In fact, even some high schoolers. But it all started with him. So it's like, I want to help our members focus on becoming the best version of themselves, so that way they can spread that light and help out others. They can be that servant's heart to, be a good Samaritan and lend a helping hand to others. They can lead by example. They can be a role model. And it's because they went through this transformation. So now if you finish those 5 questions and you put in there as much detail as possible, now we can start getting more involved with this exercise that's going to change your life. And once again, if you do this every single day from anywhere from 5 to about 10 minutes, within 6 to 12 months, you're going to have a completely different life. And I'm a firm believer in that. This right here is one of the most powerful tools you'll ever focus on doing. And it's visualizing. That's it. Might seem kind of cliche or woo-woo or anything like that, but hear me out. This is what a lot of top celebrities and athletes do. Guys like Michael Jordan, Michael Phelps, Conor McGregor, so many different, athletes, celebrities, movie stars. Everybody talks about visualizing. Jim Carrey, he actually went to the top of this mountain where he used to drive at all the time. And this is before he was a famous, movie star. And he said that he actually took a check and wrote in there $10 million and had it in his wallet. But every single night he would drive up to this cliff where he can look over and see the peak of, this neighborhood. And he would just visualize himself, being this amazing movie star, where he was making millions of dollars. And sure enough, it came true. There's also a lot of studies, and I highly recommend you do your own research and look this up when it comes to sports and different, creatives where, guys are playing piano, but they're actually not playing the piano. They're just visualizing themselves playing and practicing the piano. They're not physically playing it, but guess what? Their skills get better. Guys that are out there, on the free throw where, they'll have a case study where guys are actually shooting the ball in the hoop, and then another selected group where the guys are just sitting there thinking about shooting the ball through the group. And they look up the stats in terms of who's actually getting better, who's improving, and it's almost identical. The actual physical representation of shooting the ball into the hoop for the free throws and mentally imagining it and practicing it, it's almost identical in terms of the growth and the improvement. And I highly recommend, once again, do your own research. Visualizing to me has changed my life dramatically. Everything that I have today, I first saw it in my head, and the more crystal clear I was, the faster it became, because I'm giving my subconscious mind, right, the cheat codes to say, hey, this is what I want. But when it comes down to visualizing, it can't be broad. It needs to be specific. And if you can focus on these 5 tips right here, it's going to help it make it just a little bit more specific for you. That way you get more bang for your buck when you're doing this for the next, 6 to 12 months, and remember, it only takes a few minutes a day. So number 1 is actually write down in detail what you want and try your best to get all your senses involved. So We already wrote down those 5 questions. Hey, here's the person, here's how they look. And remember, it's not just six-pack abs, but maybe it's like the chiseled chest. Maybe it's veins popping out on the biceps. Maybe it's more of like a muscular, jawline, whatever the case may be. Write that down. Maybe in terms of like hearing is maybe like your spouse, after you get done telling them that you got off your medications, or you're able to lose X amount of weight, maybe your spouse is saying like, hey, congratulations, I'm so proud of you. And your significant other's voice, right? You can hear that. Maybe smelling is the simple fact of you being at the beach and you're just like closing your eyes and you're like, man, I imagine being here on a hot summer day with my shirt off, and you can smell maybe like, the waves and the water and like the salt and the sand, everything like that. There's a certain sense of being at the beach, and maybe once again, you can smell that. But this time it's like you're smelling that, but also visualizing yourself without your shirt on, Maybe a feel is, I don't know, it could be feeling on your chest or feeling on your arms, or, maybe somebody else is feeling on you and saying, man, you look amazing, So it's like when you get all your senses involved, it just amplifies that growth for success. Second is to imagine the emotion attached to the outcome. And this is so key, because if you really want to get more in alignment with your subconscious mind, okay? It's going to go off frequencies. It's going to go off emotions. It's going to go off of, not just like a this is what I want type deal. Because, hey, I want $1 million right now. And guess what? Like, is there $1 million right here? No. Like, it's not like my subconscious mind is instantly going to bring that. But if every single day I can get into the state of, man, here's how it's going to feel. Like I'm proving to myself this is what I want. And your brain, right, does not know the difference between what's real and what's imaginary. So if we can really get into our subconscious mind and pull out the emotions, like, I'll be honest, if I was somebody that has been struggling with, every single day for the past 5-10 years, not feeling proud of myself, not liking the way that I look, every single morning I'm waking up, opening up the medicine cabinet, taking my blood pressure and cholesterol pills, and the minute I'm, like hear from the doctors, hey, Joe, congratulations, you lost all this weight, like you don't need your medications anymore. I'll be honest, I'll probably be getting a little bit teary-eyed on that way home from the doctor's appointments. I'll be tearing up a little bit. So it's like, hey, those tears of joy and happiness, if we're able to imagine that and get those feelings out, that's going to help us just make this exercise a lot better for you. The third one is to take action every day toward your desired outcome. So it's like, if you know this 2.0 version of yourself, they're working out maybe at least 3 times a week, they're hitting their protein goal, they're drinking more water, they're getting plenty of sleep. Once again, like, let's just be in alignment with that. Let's start doing those things today. We don't need to wait. Let's literally start doing those things today. And that's going to be the key in all of this. For the biggest takeaway is everything that we can imagine, we can start doing that today. Number 4 is typically the hardest thing for most guys, which is expanding their knowledge. Because what do most guys do? They'll go to Google, they'll go to YouTube. Hey, how do I lose weight? How do I get off my medications? They get bombarded with all this misinformation. They get confused and they don't even know where to start, how to begin. So they get frustrated. They get kind of lost in their own sauce, I like to say. So expanding your knowledge could be simple things like, at least for our members, they get 24/7 support to us. So if they ever need any help or have any questions at all, they can reach out. They don't have to second guess if they're going out to a restaurant and want to know what to order. It's like, no, they can reach out for support. When we have our live coaching calls, they can go on there. They can also ask questions, right? And hear back from some of the other members if they have any recommendations or tips or feedback, anything like that. So you're constantly, right, being involved where, hey, how do you expand your knowledge? Because that's going to help you, once again, learn different roads and paths to take that could eventually lead to your outcome of, hey, here's how to actually get off the medications. Here's how to have more confidence. Here's how to have the six-pack abs. And lastly, number 5 is make time to consider visualizing. You have time in the world to do anything that you feel like it's a priority to you. Let me repeat that one more time. You have time in the world to do anything if it's a priority to you. If let's just say like, a bank robber, right? Like happened to, leave the bank after they stole this money and you had a child, right? And maybe he was just walking by. That bank robber kidnapped your kid for ransom as well. And let's just say that like that bank robber would say, hey, listen, I'll give your kid back if you give me $10,000 like by the end of the day. You will find a way to find the $10,000. Why? Because your kid is a priority to you. Okay? So I want you to start treating your goals as a priority to you. Why? Why is it so important? Well, hey, remember question number 5? How are you helping out others? Yeah. By you losing weight, by you getting in better shape, you're actually helping out others as well. You're doing your part here to be a better role model and lead by example. To be that light in this dark world that we live in. So you need to find time to prioritize this exercise if you want it to work. And don't just close your eyes and, oh, I have 6-pack abs and, I have, more confidence and I see the number of skill go down, right? No, that's stupid. Like, actually prioritize it. Somebody can show up for the gym and go through the motions and wonder why they still have the man boobs and spare tire. Somebody can show up to the gym, track what they're doing, not be on their phone, be disciplined, be focused, and they have chiseled abs and, everything, right, that they're trying to achieve. There's 2 different outcomes here. Somebody's showing up, going through the motions, versus someone showing up that's more focused. How serious are you about reaching your goals? Are you actually focused? Or is it something that you just kind of want to have? Because remember, hey, you can drive to Ohio, but actually showing up to the gym location that I'm at, hey, that's a whole different story. So it's like, what do you actually want with your goals? Are you willing to put in the work? And hear me out. Like, it's only hard if you're doing this by yourself. That's it. Anything is hard in life if you're doing it by yourself because there's no reassurance, there's no accountability, there's no game plan to follow that's leading you towards success. So it's like you should probably be surrounding yourself with some like-minded individuals that's going to help you out. And if you need any help at all, you just message me, send me over a message, because I feel like, hey, once again, bigger picture in terms of Heartletics, my job is not to change the world, but my job is to change you. And if I can help you become that light in this dark world and help you achieve success at reaching your goals and give you the plan, give you the blueprint to follow, then sure enough, like that's what I'm in it for. Because I know that it's going to have a compound effect to helping you help out your friends, your families, your coworkers, communities, etc. Start taking the actions towards that desired outcome. And sure enough, I promise you this, you will have success at reaching your goals once and for all.